We now have a presentation by the Divisional Chief Executive of the Personal Care Business, Mr. Sameer Satpathy. Over to you, Sameer.
Thank you, Karthik. Good to be here. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start, I just want to very quickly take a slide to introduce the personal care business to you. The personal care business is in primarily 4 segments. The first one is personal wash, which is around 20,000 crores with the brands of Fiamma and Vivell. Health and hygiene with Savalon. Fragrances with Engage. And home care with Nimail and Nimeezy. We have been growing through a focused strategy with approximately a CAGR of 19% with the help of our power brands. Savalon, which is a leading player in health and hygiene. It's done well since we have acquired it from J&J. Fiamma, which is positioned on the joy of bathing. It has body washes, it has a unique gel bar, and a lot of bath accessories. And Vivell, which is a regional leader in the East, and Engage, which is the number 2 brand in its category. The growth levers, the strategic levers as we call them, there are 5 of them, and I'll be taking you through them. So the first one is building brands with purpose. We believe in ITC, in the triple bottom line, and our brands reflect the same. So we anchor needs in higher order social and consumer needs, because we believe that brands need to give back to society as much as they take from society. It's a symbiotic relationship, and there is give and take. And if we do that, brands grow and society grows, and it is good for both. So when you look at it in Savilon, so Savalon, we are building. We are talking about healthier India with healthier kids build a healthier India. The belief is that if the kids are healthy, the nation is going to be healthy. We have invested a lot into a very large school program, almost 16,000 odd schools and 5.7 million children. In the pandemic, to the schools being closed, we redirected the effort into hospitals and doctors. So a lot of work in that area, and also public service messaging. For Vivell, we talk about a more equal society. Women empowerment is what it is, the purpose of the brand is. Fiamma, we talk about mental wellness. And for Engage, we talk about gender equality, because there has to be a respectful and gender sensitive piece of communication, because we tend to influence our young people. And it is, as responsible advertisers, we need to put on the right imagery and right role models for our children. The second and the main lever for us is how do we grow in future-facing categories, and this is most critical. We have entered a number of categories, and over here, these categories are deodorants, body washes, hand washes, disinfectant sprays, floor cleaners, and now dishwash liquid. They have some things in common. They are underpenetrated, they are high margin, and we, through our efforts, have taken pole position. It's a combination of innovation and market development. Also, what we have been able to do very well is that we have been able to upgrade consumers. And as all of you know, upgrading consumers is a little cheaper than just share gain. And this gives us, because we are able to create, because it is high margin and high growth, we are able to create an investable surplus, which we are able to invest to grow our brands. We also combine that with a lot of innovation, because we believe that if you are first, if you create new occasions, you can grow the category faster. And because you can grow the category faster, you also gain share. For example, in pocket fragrances, we created a new category, which is an out-of-home category, and it also created a new occasion to consume the category. As you know, the perfume category in India is underserved and underconsumed. So this creates another way of increasing the pie and us taking a major share of it. The disinfectant sprays under Savalon, I think most of you would have used some of it. They become ubiquitous during the pandemic, and this was a very large innovation from us for the pandemic. And likewise, we have a number of these innovations. The gel bars is another. So anybody who's used a gel bar, this is proprietary technology, and consumers keep coming back for more. So in that way, we are able to grow new categories and grow them faster and grow them more efficiently than competition. The third lever is how do we innovate to upgrade from to liquids. The largest category which we operate in is personal wash. And if you look at personal wash, it's a very competitive category. It is very highly penetrated. Soaps are very highly penetrated. So we identified a segment over there which was high margin and was growing very well. Liquids, as you know, some of you would know, has been growing at the rate of 18-19% CAGR for the last few years, while soaps have hardly grown. So it's high margin and high growth. Over here, when you look at India, the penetration of liquids is very less. And when you look at countries, they are 10x, 11x, 12x of our size in terms of penetration. This penetration is happening, and how can we accelerate the same has been a lot of the marketing efforts. So the key thing for the marketing team is how do we create this category relevance. I'll show one or two pieces of communication just to demonstrate the fact. It could be to have a deeper insight on why consumers could upgrade. It could be just information also, because the information sometimes also makes people reconsider their choices.
तो अगला शॉट साबुन के साथ है, बोलना क्या है?
सर हमने टॉयलेट के बाहर का साबुन पकड़ा है, जरा देना। सर इसलिए ये सेवलॉन छोटा भी हैंड वॉश है, साबुन से बहुत ज्यादा साफ और किफायती, यही बोलना है।
सेवलॉन छोटा भी हैंड वॉश, तो अब साबुन क्यों? सेवलॉन।
The second is from our brand Vivel, which talks about upgradation from soap.
Kya? No, yaar, it is so simple. Just drop, rub, and apply. Like a drop of Vivel body wash creates a great lather without any loafer.
So one is that you create relevance in the mind of the consumer. The second is that you also have to make it affordable. India still is a country which is emerging, and there are a lot of aspirers out there who want to upgrade. So how do we get the price of the liquid equivalent to that of soap? So this is where a lot of our innovation and our R&D teams have been working. And today we have products in the market which are delivering cost per wash which is almost equivalent to that of soap, whether be in hand wash or in body washes. So what we are doing with that is we're taking price out of the equation and attacking category barriers, because we know that it is only a matter of time that there's a tipping point. And if we are able to grow these categories through innovation and grow them faster, we stand to gain, because we have higher market share and we've already taken a higher position in these categories of the future. So in line with that, if you looked at it 2 years back, we were at in the total personal wash category, we were at around 14.7%. Now 25% of our total sales in personal wash comes from liquids. This is much faster than the category. And the point I keep to belabor the point, the margin play in liquids is much more than soap. So that gives us a lot of more investable surplus, which we put behind our brands. The fourth thing is winning in the channels of the future. So not only the categories of the future, but also channels in the future. And this is important, because consumers, new age consumers who are more likely to to adopt newer categories are going to be more e-com focused, more modern trade focused. So for us to win there was very critical, and I'm happy to share that in as far as personal care is concerned, we are at double digits of our sales comes from e-commerce. For the industry, it's around 2.5% as per Nielsen. We have done it through various means because at a level we have great partnerships with the various players out there. We have a great supply chain, and we've also designed a portfolio for e-commerce. This has helped us gain share. This has helped us get new consumers and, more importantly, get penetration of new categories with these new age consumers. And as we go along, we realize that we need to take this further because there is a change happening in FMCG, and it is happening in the digital front. D2C brands or digital first brands. So we have an inorganic play, which we have investments in Mother Splash, and we also have our homegrown brand, Dermafique. The whole idea is that these are places which are going to be disruptive. These are places where the consumer is changing and reconsidering her choice. And there are also capabilities which are different than our traditional brick and mortar play. This also gives our talent exposure to the best in class techniques, because when you try to grow a brand organically, you tend to obviously build certain capabilities. And also when you have access to partners who are also in this space, you can get in learnings which can make this growth journey even faster. So whether it's talent, whether it's capability or building brands, we are on a journey of investment. We are in a journey of disruption, and we feel that this could be a place where in times to come we could see disruptive growth and also a lot of value creation happening. Last but not the least, we have always prided ourselves in ITC to grow brands internally, but we have not shied away from looking at value accretive acquisitions. We have looked at opportunities across, but we have only invested where we feel that we were able to scale up these opportunities. I'll talk to you about two of them. One is Savalon, the second is Nasal. Savalon we have talked about before also in the public domain. It's around 14x from the time we acquired it. It's been a great journey over there. But the second one, which sometimes is, most people may not be completely aware of Nasal, because it was basically a very small brand in the East. We acquired this brand, and it is already 5x from the point we acquired it 3 years back. What Nasal gives us is a great play into home care, and it is the only large scale brand which is based on naturals. So we have in this brand a way of pivoting and segmenting the category in a manner to our advantage. And whenever we do acquire a brand, the other thing which we do is we put two engines on it. One is our innovation engine. The second is a distribution engine. And I'll talk to you about both. So if you look at Savalon, Savalon soap, we have been able to, we'll have to over-distribute it 2.3 times since acquisition. When you look at Savalon hand wash, it is 400 times. It was hardly being distributed. Nasal also, we have been able to take it 5x. So we have really used our distribution engine well. And I'll talk to you about the innovation engine when I'm taking you through a very small case study on ITC's Savalon. So Savalon went up 14x, but I think what is not known is the margins went up by 600 basis points. It went up by 600 basis points because we were able to go to a more profitable mix. One. Second is, for anything which comes in, like with any other brand in ITC, we have a cost program which we run the brand through. And that squeezes out any kind of fat which might be there any kind of wastage which might be there, so that we can take all that money and put it back to more productive use, which is to the consumer or to the customer. When we got the franchise, 90-95% of the sales came through these 2 packs, and today the innovation engine has been able to completely transform this franchise, and that is one of the reasons why our margin has increased. So we have this play, and we are using it on our various acquisitions, and we will continue to use these engines of both our distribution engine and our innovation engine to grow these inorganic opportunities and scale them so that we can have value accretive innovations. Coming to Savalon, when we acquired this brand, it was 50 years of heritage. It had some strengths of gentleness. It was an orange color which the brand kind of owned, and there was some design pieces which it owned. But there was a problem, and the problem was that its strength was that it did not burn, but consumers then questioned its effectiveness, saying that if it does not burn, how is it effective? As all of you know, it is actually a superior formulation, but communication could not solve for it at that point of time. So when we acquired the brand, we thought about it and said, what is that we need to do? And what we did was, we converted its weaknesses into its strengths, and we started building on its equity on doctor's most trusted brand. So yes, Savalon is the doctor's most trusted brand, and we used this, and it became a double whammy, because we had both the expert performance and trusted by professionals coming in through this line, and because of which we were able to really scale up the brand, and this was very, very critical, especially in the first 2-3 years when we had just acquired it. The second thing which we did was we built purpose into the brand, and purpose is something which is very, very important. I think it gives a lot of spirit to the brand, it gives a lot of emotion to the brand, and brands are emotional, and you need consumers to react to it in an emotional manner. So we had very large school programs. I've talked to you about this before, 16,000 odd schools, more than 5.7 children. We were teaching them about hygiene, how to wash their hands, how to have hygienic habits, so that if they do that, then they would not fall ill as much. The second thing which we did was in terms of taking the hand wash and making it more and more affordable. So when we started to when we are today the price per wash of a Savalon hand wash has come down to 10 paisa per wash, which is almost the same as what you would do if you used a soap. So today the category is in a good place, and we will be able to grow it as we put more and more evocative communication and more consumer education. And that's what helped us also grow as a business. The second thing is, for example, the Pichkyaun pack was also a great innovation. One of the problems we had in terms of cost was that whenever you used a hand wash, you had to have a pump. So we gave this challenge to our teams and said, hey, can we have a hand wash which can dispense without a pump? So this is a pack which can be kept on your skin, and it is a squeezy pack. So you can easily dispense the liquid, and it's for only 15 rupees. So all of these efforts, and there are many more efforts in the pipeline, will help us grow the category and may give access to more and more consumers for the brand. The other one, I think I want to talk about, I think the chairman mentioned it briefly, but I think it was a purple patch as far as we are concerned in ITC and also the brand. We in ITC have always seen us as national champions. We have always felt that we are a brand for India, made for Indians, and innovating for India. So when the pandemic struck, one thing we were clear about is that whatever the requirements of society, whatever the requirements of people, we should be able to fulfill it. So it was rapid innovation and innovation at scale. So we launched a number of products, and whether it was wave 1 and wave 2, and we scaled them up. And this happened because of a combination of factors. Whether it was the R&D teams, which were working in and through the pandemics with labs in India or abroad, getting the products formulated, tested, and out into market. Whether it was the marketing teams getting in, picking up weak signals, picking up latent signals, latent needs, and feeding it back and saying, this is what the consumer actually wants, this is what will reassure her more, this is what is technically we will have to say. So the product parameters have to meet that. Whether it was the manufacturing teams who had to manufacture overnight millions and millions of cans or cakes of soap or liters of sanitizer. And some of you would have seen news reports that we overnight converted one of our perfume factories into a sanitizer factory, etc., right at the beginning of the pandemic. Or whether it was our sales and marketing teams, sales teams, which made sure that the product was available in each shelf. I think it was a fantastic effort. And above all, I think it was the team of young managers, middle managers, who were given this challenge and who I think came through it with flying colors. So we are very proud of them, of what they were able to achieve. And I think we can say with a lot of confidence that the system was stress tested and during this period, and we were able to do well for not only for the brand and the company, but also for the nation. And this was also helped by the fact that we had started working on a lot of these innovations. This was a platform-based approach. So we have lighthouse projects which are 5 years hence, 3 years ahead, 10 years ahead. All we did was we accelerated them and made sure that they were there for consumers when they needed them. And there is always a pipeline of products out there with us, so that whenever there is a need or an investable surplus, we can use innovation and invest into these brands. We've also received a lot of recognition globally for our efforts, and some of these we are very proud of. I just want to call out a couple. I think we won the first ever Grand Prix for creative effectiveness. I think this is the first win by any company, not only in India, but I think in Asia. And we were also part of the Cannes Lions Creativity Report of the decade. There were 10 case studies for the decade, or 10 brands which were picked up, and Savalon was one of them. So these are all, I think, great markers that our marketing teams are coming of age and are competing with the best in the world and doing very, very good work. So coming back, when we started, we said that at point of parity on performance, I think now when we look at our data now, in some of the centers, we have caught up with lead competition. In some of the centers, we have not, but in some of the centers, like in Calcutta, we are on performance. And the second thing is, on some centers like moisturization scores, we are ahead. Now, what does it mean? It means consumers who were at some point of time questioning whether the brand is as good are saying it's as good, and they're also saying, hey, you're better in some parameters. What that does is, in the medium to long term, it gives us another lever, because now you are in a very large segment able to say that you can compete and you can differentiate. And as you all know, in our business, the ability to differentiate and differentiate well gives you a lot more than if you were just a Me Too product. So we are working on this, and there is communication of this kind which is going out, which is saying not only protection, but also gives you moisturization. So the best of two worlds. So whether there is COVID or no COVID, I think this is a great thing to use for your family. But the innovation engine chugs along. We will keep pushing boundaries, and we are pushing boundaries with this work which we are doing. It is the Savalon nasal spray. It's first of its kind. What it does is, it is a preventive to COVID. This is a challenge we threw to our scientists and said, hey, is there something we can do? And is there something which, as a company, as a brand, we can do? And we have tested this product with third-party labs, and there's some intermediate testing which has happened, and has cleared all of that. We have got permission to do clinical trials, which the ethics committees have given, and there's a large-scale clinical testing which is on as we speak. But if we clear all of that, I think it's going to be something which is very useful for society, and this would be a great contribution from our side in the fight against COVID. So all in all, in summary, we are focusing on future-facing categories as they give us huge headroom for growth. And we will continue to drive growth through penetration and market development. Science-based R&D platforms are powering innovation and speed to market. And our purposeless brands, backed by impactful communication and deep consumer engagement, will continue to grow. We think we are well positioned to seize the emerging opportunities to drive scale and profitability. Thank you very much. And I hope that I was able to explain some of the stuff which we are doing internally in the personal care business. Thank you.
Thanks, Samir. Very interesting presentation.